Not yet.
Lance, take your hand off the camera.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Hey guys, so do you recognize this face? No? Of course you do. This is Gareb. You guys know Gareb. It's like Madonna, or Cher, or Sonny, or Bono. You only need one name when you're this guy. We were shooting the show, and then the guy that is producing all this, my friend Lance, says my friend Gareb's gonna come by. He's doing a little bit of art. And I was like, a little bit of art? Like, what is that? A little bit of art. We're all doing a little bit of art. Like, my doodle while I was on the phone the other day is a little bit of art. And then he showed me something that he did, and I was like, wow, that's not a little bit of art. That's actually really cool. That's awesome. Has this guy been doing art forever? And he said, no, he's been doing it for like 5 minutes. And I was like, well, that's really good for 5 minutes. He's going to be really successful one day. He says he already is. He started Comic-Con. Then I passed out. And then I woke up about 8 minutes ago, and I was like, get him on the show right now. Is that your whole, that was your story, right?
Yeah,
that's
pretty
sort of
much,
how it
yes.
happened, yeah. I don't even know your last name.
Seamus.
Seamus,
Yes.
but we're better off just calling you
Yeah,
Gareb.
just Gareb. People
Just
know me.
Gareb.
Yes, exactly.
That's how people know you. This is Gareb, by the way. And we have sort of this artistic theme going, so we were talking about his art, but I feel like we should just start with Comic-Con because it has really blown up over the last couple of years to the point where the Today Show covers Comic-Con.
Right.
Like, the Today Show barely covered Picasso, you know, and they like barely covered Superman and Batman, and all of a sudden like
Right.
they were there, and then like Jimmy Fallon was there, then like Matt Damon was there, and now you have to like sell your soul to get into Comic-Con.
Yeah.
I've never been there, just FYI, just so you know.
Oh, we'll have to get you to one.
We have to get out to come. Now, I don't really fully grasp the entire fascination with it because I didn't come from a comic book background, but it has sort of gotten bigger than just comic books, right?
Yeah.
At this point, how would you describe to someone what Comic-Con is besides the coolest thing on earth?
Basically, it started out because I was a geek and a nerd back in the day when that wasn't cool.
Okay.
So basically, I started a magazine about comic books, and then all of a sudden, people felt like they had a friend out there. When they got the magazine, we wrote it in such an irreverent way. And then we decided to start the Comic-Con business and bring people together that had these mutual interests. And all of a sudden, that created this culture where it was the social network for people that were geeks and nerds. And then ultimately, you cut to 20 years later where, you know, all these people grew up and they started directing movies and television shows and wanting to act in them. And the geeks and the nerds all of a sudden transformed into the cool people out there.
Right. So you're pretty cool right now.
Well, now, no, as my kids would describe, I'm not cool, but what I do is cool.
What you do is cool. You do
But
is
I'm not
actually
cool.
very cool.
Yes.
The numbers must be incredible. How many people come to you do them annually, right? Or do you do more than that?
Yeah, so they do have the Comic-Cons. There'll be about 20 of them this year, and
Okay.
including a cruise as well. There'll probably be 1 million people through the door.
That's
You
incredible.
know, at all the events this year.
Are
Yeah.
you, I mean, you probably sort of envision this, but in your wildest imagination, did you think it would just become as successful and popular to such a wide variety of people and demographics?
No, because you just do it because, you know, you just want to convince the world that what you're doing is the right thing and the fun thing. And then
My show.
Yes, and so when the magazine was all of a sudden in English, and then it was in French and German and Spanish
Portuguese?
and Portuguese.
Oh!
Yes, we were very popular in Argentina.
Of course, why
Yeah,
wouldn't you be?
It was incredible.
Zika and then Comic-Con.
We were in Russian, Polish. I mean, it was just incredible. We were in dozens of languages, 50 countries around the world, and all of a sudden, people would tell me, "Oh, they don't like superheroes in this country, that country," and I'd go there and it'd be like, "They love superheroes.
They love them."
Yeah,
Right.
So no, you never thought that that was going to be the way the world was going to be back when you first started. But now, in retrospect, it's like, holy cow, you
Right.
can't believe it.
And people don't just go and experience Comic-Con, they become part of the event.
Yeah, one of the things that we wanted to do was make people feel like they were on the inside. So by making that world accessible to them, because we as the producers and the magazine publishers, we had access behind the scenes, and we
Right.
wanted people to have that access. So we actually make it so that you can meet the celebrities, get autographs, get pictures, interact with them, you know, in ways that you could only dream about.
Right. And so for a lot of these people who, I don't know, maybe before Comic-Con would just walk around in those costumes in their own house, now have a place to go to walk around in their crazy
Yeah,
costumes and be these characters.
Absolutely. I mean, that world is all about, you know, fantasy and role play and people wanting to be something that they can't be in their daily life. But it's really incredible because when you go and you dress up, you put on a mask, you put on some face paint, and nobody knows it's you.
Right.
And all of a sudden, you could become who you really want to be. and nobody really knows. You could put those pictures on social media, people could take your picture, and all of a sudden you've transformed into something that's really not yourself.
And was this something, you must have been into comic books forever, right? As far back as you,
Yeah,
right?
I have 3 brothers. I grew up collecting sports cards, comic books, and then my mom opened up a comic book shop.
Wow.
So when she would send me the books in college...
It's the theme of the day.
This is the theme of the day. Whatever you were at 2 is who you are at 42.
Oh, absolutely. And my mom would send me a stack of books in college, and then when I was done, I'd literally give them out free to everybody, and they'd be like, I was the comic book guy.
Is your family involved in this as well?
Oh, absolutely.
They all are.
So my brother is very involved in the company. My other brother has an online toy store where he sells. My mom still has the store.
Okay, well let's hear about all of it, because we want. What's the online toy store?
It's called toywiz.com.
Toywiz.com.
Yeah,
I'm going to go buy my nephew a present from toywiz.com.
Yeah, they're the largest toy retailer through Amazon and Walmart and quite a few others.
Obviously, because they have the Gareb touch.
Yes.
And your mom works with.
She still works in the store. It's called Toywiz. It's a retail shop. And she's, she just loves the interaction with the customers and the kids and the parents.
Where'd you grow up?
I grew up right outside the city in Rockland County.
Okay.
I was born in Queens, and now I live downtown in the West Village.
You're like just a New Yorker.
Oh yeah, I love it. I mean, it's just so in my blood. I wake up every day. I walk the High Line to my art studio. It's really an amazing life.
So now you have Comic-Con, which most people would just imagine, all right, I've made it, I'm good, I've done everything I've wanted to do, and then some, sort of exceeded my dreams, and then you're like, you know what, I think I'm going to be an artist. Who picks up a new skill set one day and just tries it and then obviously becomes successful at it? Where did that come from?
Well, my whole life I've been working with literally hundreds, if not thousands of artists, whether it's artists or writers or painters, because of the comic books. So a lot of these people are my best friends.
Yeah.
And in a way, I think they were jealous on the business side of me, but I was always jealous on the creative side. And I always needed a creative outlet. I've always had that, creative side. In order to make these things popular, you really need to be creative and come up with innovative ideas. So I wanted to write, but I didn't have the discipline to write. I just couldn't sit down. I had the ideas, but
write comics, you mean?
Just to write comics or screenplays or TV shows.
Okay.
I had the ideas. I just didn't have the physical discipline to sit. My mind was always 10 steps ahead of my fingers.
Like me, the attention span of a loofah sponge.
But I found that I created this concept for painting that I thought was going to be...
Sorry, of course. Oh, it's the super of the building. Maybe he's telling us we can't all use the bathroom or we have to leave the lobby area. Are they singing in the lobby right now?
I don't know.
Okay. Go on. Sorry.
So what I wanted to do is create a style that was uniquely mine on the painting, because I worked with so many artists, and it was never really the guys that were unbelievable artists that drew Batman perfectly. It was always the guys that had this unique take on the character that became more successful.
Right.
So I wanted to have this creative outlet for painting, and I wanted to create something that was unique so that I don't even need to put my signature on it. You could see what it looks like.
You knew it was a
and
Gareb.
you knew it was something that I had painted.
How long have you been, before I show you guys what he does, where did the idea, how long have you been sort of mulling over this idea of what it was going to look like?
It took me 6 months to get to the point where I liked what I was doing with it. I was able to get the paint to be a certain texture and the contraptions that I created in order to do it. But it's a combination. The whole thing was kind of born out of my personality and who I am.
Right.
Because I was always able to do something that was both very attractive and engaging. People were always fascinated with it. But yet, I also needed to keep everybody a little bit of a distance because, everybody, wanted to be a part of it. So I still needed to kind of create that space. So I created this concept where I can extrude paint and then create these kind of points at the end of it. So it was both very attractive, and people still want to touch it. And for some reason, it's like really resonated with people.
Okay, so I can't say this enough. Art is not my thing. I don't recognize it, understand it, appreciate it. But you guys have to check out what he does. He literally, is there a place someone can see it? Can you see it on there?
On my website, Gareb.com.
Gareb.com. He takes paint and squeezes little, nuggets, little beads or whatever.
Yeah.
And each little bead is about this big, and then you take a step back, and it's this unbelievable, I don't know if you'll be able to see it from there.
Yeah.
It doesn't do it justice, you guys, I'm telling you.
Yes.
Here, Gareb.
There's no way. They're like little chocolate kisses. I'm starving. I need more.
So that's what it looks like
I want chocolate.
when you're looking at it just straight on.
Look at that. How cool
as
is that?
individual drops. And then when you look at it from the side view,
Non-edible. They're not
Non-edible,
edible.
although
Okay.
people do think it looks delicious.
It does look delicious. I'd like one of those. They look like mascarpones.
And despite the fact that it's got the spikes on it, people still feel compelled to want to touch it, even though they
It's
know
sharp.
it might hurt them.
That is really, really cool. And
Yeah.
you're selling them, and
Yeah, I had my first gallery show on the Lower East Side in November, and it went incredibly well.
nice.
And I sold my first piece there, and then I was invited to exhibit at Art Basel, and that went great. And I'm doing this full time now, where I just can't even keep up. So I opened up my own art studio and my own small
Wow.
gallery in Chelsea. So I have people come in and check out the work, and I just love interacting with people. And
Do the two genres overlap? Are you ever doing art about comics? Are you ever maybe
no, I'm
drawing
trying
some
to
sort of you
avoid
it?
that.
Okay.
Yeah, because I really want to appeal on the fine art side, not on the
Right.
pop art side.
Right.
And also, the last thing I want to do is be compared to any of the guys that I know that do superheroes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I can't even hold a candle to them
those
in
guys.
that world.
This stuff is incredible. I really love it to the point where, and I'm careful when I say this, but I would actually purchase this art, and
Oh,
I
wow.
wouldn't buy anything
you.
except a Picardo. What's your next big Comic-Con event coming up?
There's one in Philadelphia in June,
Okay.
where we have almost the entire cast of the Captain America movie.
The real
So,
cast?
Yeah, so Chris Hemsworth, Chris Evans, even Tom Hiddleston, who plays Loki. This is the first appearance that he's ever going to do at a Comic-Con.
Wow.
Yeah, and people can meet them and sign autographs. It's a pretty extraordinary experience.
I would imagine it's actually not hard booking guests or booking celebrities to come. Maybe in the beginning it was, and now they probably are attracted to it.
It's easier, and because the finances have gotten to the point where it's worth it for them.
Right.
But still, in certain cases, it could take 3 years to book them. So getting back
Damn,
to
those
one of your
celebrities.
favorite, Michael
So
J.
annoying.
Fox will be there.
Yeah.
It took 3 years to work out the deal for him to be wanting to do it, and it was the right opportunity.
Sorry,
so
did you say Michael J. Fox?
Michael
is gonna
J.
be there?
Fox is going to be there? Yeah.
In Philadelphia.
Yep. Exactly.
Do we want to do a Jenna Walsh show on the road, maybe?
Yeah, then let's get Michael J. Fox on the show, because as easy it was for him to go to Comic-Con, it'll be even easier to get him on the show. A side note, I did a whole piece on the Today Show about being obsessed with Michael J. Fox.
Yeah.
We reached out to him. His publicist turned us down, so I went on Facebook and found someone else named Michael J. Fox, and we flew them to New York, and I did an
That's
entire
great.
piece interviewing this guy, saw his license and everything, as if he was the real Michael J. Fox, asking him all questions about Back to the Future and Family Ties. He had no idea what we were talking
Right.
about the entire piece. I was like, can I take pictures with you? Like, we went all around to different floors. I'm like, Michael J. Fox. I was taking selfies. The guy was like shell-shocked. We were like, thank you so much for your time, and we sent him on his way.
Right.
He was like,
Awesome.
what just happened? And then we ran it,
Yeah.
because that's the kind of person I am.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I'm going to buck the system. It's really, really exciting. The behind-the-scenes stuff, how you put those shows together, where this stuff comes from. What's the next thing that Gareb has sort of floating around in the cerebrum up there?
I love the idea of the art world, and I try to think as big as I possibly can think, and then use that as a way to figure out how to get there.
Yeah.
So for me, it's really trying to use my art to engage people around the world, and use social media as a platform to get people to get excited about art and make it accessible. Because I think a lot of people think art isn't accessible, because of, there's always these art galleries, and people are afraid to purchase fine art unless they feel like it's got to go up in money or got to go up in value. And I think I want to be able to just help people trust their own eyes, that if they see something they like, it's something that they can have.
Awesome. I love it. I'm totally into Comic-Con now. I'm totally going to be into your art now.
Awesome.
I'm a fan,
Thank
officially
you.
a fan.
Thank you.
Gareb.com?
Yep.
Gareb.com, it's super easy. He's like the Cher of the art world and of comic everything. We're going to take a break. We got really cool stuff
We're
coming
going
up.
to jump right into Yvonne in a second. We're
Okay.
back in a second.
We're going to back in a second.